What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Monday, people. Good to have Arsenal back in action over the weekend. Comprehensive 5-0 victory in the end over Crystal Palace and get Arsenal back on track. But, you know, we're going to need a lot more results like that if we're going to really make headway into this title race. But big up, everyone. Hope you're having a great start to the week. Lots to talk about today. Press conference reaction. We'll review the game. Player ratings. Toney giving a reminder to everybody why clubs should be signing him probably now, but it looks like nobody's going to get him until the summer. You know, comes back after 6 months out from a ban and gets man of the match and scores in the game. You know, that I think that's why a lot of people you know, would love to bring him to the club, including me. I'd love to see him at Arsenal. And obviously on top of that, some other transfer news as well. Arsenal's head scout was spotted in the Bundesliga over the weekend, looking at two players. You can see from the title, Xavi Simons and Jeremy Frimpong. So we'll talk more about them. It does look like, you know, it looks like we're not going to get any business done in this window, if we're being totally honest. The links are drying up. They're not even making things up now. It just seems like they've given up. Arsenal are not going to do anything unless we get a surprise loan transfer at the end of this deal. It doesn't look like Arsenal will sign anybody. I think, personally, what I think happened was they gave him an amount of money to use throughout the season, and I think he spent all of it in the summer. You know, the reason why we took David Raya on loan and didn't sign him was because we were out of cash. They've decided not to sell anybody in January, which is where I think we've probably made the mistake. If I was Arsenal, and I know it's not Football Manager, it doesn't work this simply, but I would have tried to have got rid of a couple fringe players to raise some cash to possibly bring in a top player. Could you have sold Eddie Nketiah and maybe Fabio Vieira or Aaron Ramsdale and got 60 million and then gone and bought a striker or something like that? But we are where we are. I think we're going to run with what we've got until the end of the season. Big up everyone who tuned in last night. Great show with Turkish on his channel. If you haven't watched that, go and watch that show, man. Nearly 2 hours we did. And listen, we were talking about hip-hop. We were talking about clothes. We were talking about Arsenal, all sorts of stuff, man. So go and watch that. That show was a real vibe. No script, no nothing, just chat. We'll be doing that once a week. It'll be over on Turkish's channel every week. So make sure you tune in for that on a weekly basis, people. And big up everyone who tuned in for the members stream, man. Great stream yesterday. A little bit more positive than I think it would have been if we'd have done it a couple days earlier. The Palace game definitely lifted spirits. Salman was speaking some real truth in that as well. Living in Barcelona, he had a very good understanding of Mikel Arteta when he was at Barcelona. But anyway, what I've actually spoken to StreamYard about this, about my mic getting muted. Right, we're back now. We're back now. Apologies, people. We should be all right for the rest of the stream, I hope. Anyway, let's get into the show before they mute me again. Mikel's cutting me out of saying anything about him. They won't let me land, Lawrence. You know what I mean? Right, let's talk about the game over the weekend. Obviously, Arsenal went 3-point collecting, beat Crystal Palace comprehensively, and I have to admit, that is quite possibly the worst Crystal Palace I have ever seen. I've got to be honest. And I'm not saying that to take anything away from Arsenal, because Arsenal dealt with what was in front of them. And, you know, 5-0. There's no way I can complain. It was a fantastic performance. But Palace were dreadful. I tell you what, there was two players in that Palace team that stood out for me, though. Eze, who just looks like he's got all the time in the world to play football. Brilliant player. And Tyreek Mitchell, for me, I actually think he kept Saka quiet in that game. I think he's a really, really good left back. I'll be surprised if somebody doesn't go in for him. You know, like you said, Roy Hodgson. I think he's lost his way, man. I actually felt sorry for him. It was like we're beating up a pensioner. He needs to retire, put his slippers on, get a hot chocolate and just relax. He's got plenty of money, man. He don't need to be there. But listen, great result for Arsenal. Can't complain, although I was complaining a little bit. 2-0 up at half-time. I was like, listen, we're winning 2-0, but we're not playing well. And it was, listen, let's be real, and I said it all week. The game was about the victory first and foremost. When you've lost 3 games in a row, you've just got to come back to winning ways and then deal with the performance. I have to say, in a positive manner, the second half of that game, in particular the last 30 minutes, it made me feel like Arsenal of last season. I really enjoyed the way we played. I loved the way we hit Palace on the counter-attack. Split them at pace. And we've got speed in our team, which is why I never understand why we play with this slow tempo and allow teams to, put 2 banks of 4 behind the ball and make life difficult for us. We are at our best when we play quickly. Martinelli getting in behind one-on-one with a keeper. Trossard sent Nathaniel Klein back to Liverpool. Absolutely brilliant. And that's the football we want to see. Stop playing this slow football. When we are quick, we are lethal. When we are slow, we are predictable and easy to play against. We have to play quick. Listen, 5-0. Bit of a shame. Gabriel Magalhaes, the second goal was chalked off. His header apparently wasn't on target. It was only 3 yards out. I'm not too sure how he didn't head that on target. But, his header was going wide. So it was given as a Dean Henderson own goal. It hit him on the back of the head and went in. So Gabriel got the first goal. Second goal was a Henderson own goal. But for the community, we'll give it to Gabriel anyway. Trossard, brilliant goal. Sent Klein down the road. And then Martinelli comes off the bench. Copy and paste both goals. Thierry Henry-esque finish. Just passed it into the corner. That is the Martinelli that Arsenal fans just love to watch. I think I said at the start of the season, Martinelli is possibly my favourite Arsenal player. Certainly in the attack. But he's been so frustrating this season. And we just got to hope that we can, get him to what he was last season. 15 goals last season. Absolutely brilliant. But we've got to play quicker. You play slow, Martinelli's easy to play against. You play quick, he can rip you to bits. Somebody just said there in the comment, I think it was Alan, Declan Rice, the update we've got at the moment, although it hasn't been released from the club. I spoke about this yesterday, I think, but it said the club, the early, diagnosis is that it was just a twinge in his hamstring. Doesn't look like any damage. Maybe it was just a little bit of tightness that caused him to come off. Obviously, we don't play Forest until next Tuesday. So we've still got 8 days until we play against Forest. And it looks as if he could be all right. Gabriel Magalhaes apparently was a kick. So maybe he's got some bruising on his leg. That certainly won't keep him out of the game against Forest. A bit of bruising, I would imagine he'll rest it, put a bit of ice on it. Gabriel will be okay. Rice is obviously the one we're a bit concerned about. Has the rice been overcooked, as Amo said? We don't want rice pudding. But the hammy's always a concern because sometimes when it starts twinging, it's almost like the warning sign that you could pull it. You know what I mean? So that's obviously the concern there. But hopefully Declan Rice will be available. And hopefully, Thomas Partey, remember him, people. He does actually play for Arsenal, although you wouldn't know it. The rumour is he should be joining in full training this week. So if he can come through the week unscathed, get a full week's training in, we don't play for another 8 days. Could we have Partey on the bench against Forest? I've got no doubt he won't be fit enough to start that game. I think that the thought process should be we play Liverpool in 2 weeks. Can you get Partey on the bench against Forest, get him some game time, 2 weeks training until we play Liverpool in 2 weekends' time at the Emirates? So I think we need to get Partey back. I know Wenger always used to say, like a new signing, but I'm telling you, Partey could be immense for us towards the end of the season if you can keep him fit, but that's a whole other situation. Let's get into player ratings. As I always say, winning doesn't mean everybody played well, and losing doesn't mean everybody played bad. This was a good performance, 21 shots, 6 on target, 5 goals. That's a great turnover, 6 shots on target and you score 5 of them. We were clinical. We were absolutely clinical. Palace, 5 shots on target out of 12. So, yeah, they hit the target as many times as we did. Let's go through the player ratings, people. Let's go through the player ratings. David Raya in goal. I apologise. I had a moment of, the frustration in that first half was kicking in. David Raya gave the ball away. I think I called him a midget. Something like that. I said you're a midget, a 6-foot midget, which is crazy, isn't it? Because 6 foot's not exactly small, but for a goalkeeper in the Premier League, I was in my feelings. Drake album settings. He gave the ball away, nearly cost us a goal, but I think that was one of his best performances for Arsenal. Outside of that pass, collected all his crosses, distribution, brilliant for the goal, gets the pre-assist, and I thought he did well after that. The one thing I would say, I don't think Palace really gave him a shot that was like full stretch and he's tipping it over the bar and oh my God, save of the season. The saves were all saves that I expected him to make, but what he did it really well. I've written down 7.5, just because I don't think the saves were anything particularly, oh my God, I think every save he made, he should have saved, but he made them well. I give him a 7.5. I thought it was a good performance. I thought Palace were dreadful going forward. So, people saying I should give him an 8. We'll give him an 8. He got a pre-assist. Why not? We'll give him an 8, and he kept a clean sheet. The pre-assist was very good, so if I'm saying it's one of his best games, we'll give him an 8. Why not? We won 5-0. Benny Blanco, Mr. I don't watch football. Joey Essex. I love a suntan, but I won't be watching Match of the Day tonight. I thought it was one of his best games. Again, I have to stay calm with all these player ratings because on one hand, we're only judging them based off the one game. On the other hand, I don't want to get carried away. Palace were dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. I thought Ben White defensively was solid. Still think he could have got forward a little bit more. I still don't think he overlaps enough. I don't think he's got the engine of a fullback. If you look at fullbacks, they are high energy. You don't have many top quality right backs that play in the manner that Ben White plays as a centre back. You look at the best fullbacks now. You got Trent, you got Kyle Walker, you got Reece James, you got Hakimi. They are more attacking. They get forward more. I don't think Ben White has got that engine to just bomb on consistently throughout the game. He did it in earlier parts of the game. He didn't do it towards the end. I thought he was good. I give him 7 out of 10. And you're right, Alex. That's probably why we are looking at Frimpong from Leverkusen, because I think the club are thinking we need a more attacking fullback. Landon said Walker is garbage now. Bro, he won the treble 6 months ago. I think it's way too early to be set. He's probably still, along with Trent, the best right back in the Premier League. I don't think anybody could say Kyle Walker is garbage. Especially his baby mum, who he's just apparently had 2 kids with on the side, but we won't talk about that. His engine is full of fake tan, Ben White. Do you know what? I'll give Ben White 7.5. I thought he did well. I thought Ben White did well. Defensively, rock solid. Let's go to left back, Zinchenko. I thought that was a very, very good performance. Again, hard for me to go crazy because if he's playing against Elise or someone, then yeah, different. Defensively, you're going to get tested badly. But I thought he was excellent. He joined in. That looked like Zinchenko of last season. Getting on the ball, adding an extra player in midfield. Excellent performance. I thought he was really good. I'll give him 8 out of 10. Again, could be a different game if you're playing against Elise. We play Forest next week, who've got Alanga, who's very quick. We've got Liverpool the week after, who could have Salah. We know when Zinchenko gets asked to defend a lot, that's where the problems come from. He's not an actual defender. You could argue he should be playing in midfield, but it is what it is. I'll give him 8 out of 10. Let's go through the 2 centre-backs. Yeah, as Roy Keane would say, he's just doing his job. What do you want? I won't carry on. The Irish, after about 5 words, it goes somewhere else in the world, so I'm not going to get carried away. William Saliba, he'll get home. The car keys, the wallet, and Mateta. Pocketed him, zipped him up. Get yourself out of here. But again, hard to get carried away. Palace was so poor going forward. I'm not going to go crazy about Saliba's performance. It was a brilliant performance, but it was light work for him. I can't lie. It was light work. I'll give him 8 out of 10. I give him 8 out of 10. It was light work for Saliba. Palace were dreadful going forward. But Saliba, you know, he's pure class. Simple as that. Va-va-voom, je ne sais quoi, and all that business. Let's go to Gabriel Magalhães. Great hairline, great teeth, and a great performance from the Brazilian maestro. Very easy to not give him his flowers in the shadows of Saliba. We're all on Saliba hype, and rightly so. He's the Rolls Royce, man. He makes it look easy, barely breaks a sweat. But Gabriel has to get his flowers. Do you know what I mean? He has to get his flowers, man. And I don't care if they say the second one was an own goal. On this channel, he scored 2 goals. I don't care what the Premier League say. I'm giving him 10 out of 10. And I'm not getting carried away because I know the performance. Yeah, you're playing against Mateta and it's only Mateta, but we're judging it off one game. Him and Saliba bodied their attack. He keeps a clean sheet. He scores 2 goals. 10 out of 10, bro. You're a centre-back. You scored and you got a clean sheet. That's perfect. You can't give me much more than that. Since Gabriel Magalhães has signed for Arsenal, no centre-back in the Premier League has scored more goals than him. He's chipping in. He's chipping in. He's got as many goals as some of our attacking players, people. 3 Premier League goals for Gabriel Magalhães. 3 Premier League goals for Gabriel Jesus. Make it make sense, people. 10 out of 10, man. Now I'm giving him his flowers. He's getting his flowers. 2 goals. Big him up. Zigic. Yeah, he was moving like Zigic up top, man. I thought he was going to get a hat-trick. Let's go to the midfield. I think this was the most disappointing area of our team on Saturday, if I'm being totally honest. Looking at all 3 of them. I'll start off with Odegaard. I'll start with Odegaard again. Underwhelming. I'm not hammering people. There's nobody here that's getting 2 out of 10 and you were dreadful. I just look at that performance and I think, did Odegaard do enough in that game? Was he taking shots? Was he probing? I just think he's going through the motions at the moment. I felt like last year, if you was playing against Arsenal, you would say you've got to get Odegaard off the ball because he can rip you apart with an assist or a goal. I look at him now and I think he's okay. He's not, you know, we've won 5-0. I don't think he got an assist in the game, did he? I know it's not all about goals and assists, but I still don't think we're seeing the Odegaard of last season. I mean, he wasn't bad. I don't really want to mark him down, but yeah, no assist. No assist, no goal. I wrote down 5.5. I'm going to stick with 5.5. I thought he was underwhelming. I honestly did. I thought he was underwhelming. We dominated possession. You're the creative midfielder. We'll give him a 6 out of sympathy. We'll give him a 6. I mean, Zach said he thought he was quality. I might have... Somebody tell me, what did he do that was that good? I thought he was average. I'll give him a 6. Let's not go too harsh. I'll give him a 6, but I did have 5.5 written down for him. I thought he was very quiet. I mean, let's speak about the other left footer. Do you know the funniest argument I got in the comments on Twitter about this? I mentioned Havertz, of course. We speak about him every day. And somebody said to me, Havertz didn't do anything wrong. And I said, if you're using that as the benchmark for this guy on how we judge his performance, we've got this totally wrong. If that's the way we're judging him. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry, you, and I hate to do the whole accountant thing. Me and Turkish were talking about it last night. When a player is the top paid player at your football club, you expect the finances to match the level of ability. I was looking through some of the clubs yesterday. Manchester City's top earners, De Bruyne, Haaland, obviously. Liverpool's Mo Salah. Then you get to Arsenal, Kai Havertz. You could argue Havertz he's not top 5. He might not even be a top 10 player at Arsenal. You're taking Rice, you're taking Saliba, you're taking Gabriel, you're taking Odegaard, you're taking Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, Trossard. Zinchenko, Ben White, Rail. He's probably not even a top 10 player at Arsenal. And yet he's the highest earner at the football club. And people are telling me, yeah, but he didn't do anything wrong. Okay, but what did he do well? Oh, he makes good runs in the box. Okay, so if we don't get the ball to him in a brilliant goal-scoring position, are you telling me he can't produce anything? He can't go and get the ball and play a pass or run past someone or take a long-range shot? I mean, Leigh's saying, I'm taking Jorginho. I'm taking Jorginho, bro. Look at Jorginho. He came on and dropped an assist on Martinelli, bro. And that's desperation. He's not doing enough. And Leigh said to me on the member stream, we need to stop talking about him. And I get his point. It does get a bit boring, but we have to continue speaking about him to put the pressure on the club. Listen, didn't do anything bad, but didn't do anything good. As Kevin Campbell said, normal. What are we going to give him? What did I have written? I had written down 5 out of 10. It's a sympathy 5. I could have given him 4. I'm giving him 4.5. I seen the man rolling around on the floor. He thought he was going to get fouled, didn't get fouled, and then did a roly-poly on the floor. He's getting a 4.5, man. It's a disgraceful signing, but yeah, we'll move on from it. We'll move on. Non-applicable. He didn't turn up for the exam. It's ungraded. Let's go into the attack. Again, this is an interesting one again, really, with the attack, because I'm sort of looking at Saka, and I'm thinking, because somebody messaged me saying, oh, I thought Saka played well, and I'm like, did he play well? I thought Mitchell wrapped him up, to be honest. I seen him running at Mitchell, couldn't get past him. Okay, I give him some credit. He puts the cross in for the header that Gabriel scored that got chalked off him. Okay, he put a decent... I'll give him 6. I'll give him a 6. Oh, I skipped Declan Rice. Sorry. Let's rewind. Rewind. The crowd say, Bo, selector. Declan Rice, to me, was average. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm giving Rice 6 out of 10. This was plain rice. There was no seasoning. It wasn't rice and peas. It wasn't jollof. It wasn't even rice pudding, which is all right with a bit of jam in it. This was just plain boiled rice. 6 out of 10. I didn't think he played that well. I didn't think he was great. He wasn't bad. I saw Eze skip him a couple times. He did get an assist from the corner as well, so we'll give him a 6. I still think I can see more from Rice on the ball. Yeah, this was Pilar Rice, man. It was it was plain rice, people. It was plain rice. Let's go to the front three. Couscous, which is like half the rice, innit? So it was Declan Couscous. That's where we was at on Saturday. It was still decent. He got an assist and played okay. I'm doing him a bit dirty, but it certainly wasn't the levels that he was at earlier on in some of the previous games. Bukayo Saka, on one hand, next time you go to international duty and Eze's there, you just make sure, maybe you leave a few stud marks around his ankle, because ain't nobody nutmegging me on TV like that and getting away with it. That was rude. And I'm not talking about Van Nistelrooy. That was rude from Eze. Dropping a nutmeg on Saka like that, and just breezing past him. If you get nutmeg like that, you better foul him. Turn round and brook up everything. Bow! Yeah, man, you nutmeg me still, but your ankle's going to hurt in the morning. Dropping a nutmeg on Saka like that. I want to see Saka nutmeg someone. When's the last time Saka nutmeg someone? I need some skills. We was arguing on the watch-along for my FIFA players. What skill level is Saka at? I said he's at 3-star skill moves. We need to get him to 4. I need to see step-overs, flip-flaps, nutmeg, something. People were saying 2-star skill moves. I don't know. Saka and Salman, I'm going to big him up on the member stream yesterday, made a great point. I think Saka came through as a fullback. He came through as a fullback. And I think Saka still... Wingers grow up in 1v1 situations against defenders. So they learn how to take defenders on from a young age because they're consistently in that situation. I think because Saka was raised in the academy, playing at fullback, He hasn't naturally learnt how to just be mad skillful. Saka needed some street football, man. He needed to play in the cages where we're just fouling each other and barging each other into the walls. But you dropped a nutmeg on someone, everyone was going crazy. You flick it over a man's head. Oh, you know what I mean? Saka never played street football, man. He was in the academy from 8 years old. He didn't learn that Wilfried Zaha street football. I think Saka needs some FIFA street, man. He needs to go and watch some Ronaldinho YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? So, but listen, I don't want to do him dirty. I don't think he played that well. I thought Mitchell kind of kept him quiet, but I'll give him some credit. He got the assist and he worked his socks off, you know, but I need more from him. I'm sorry, I need more. Like I said, I'm not praising work rate. That's not what he's here for. What he's doing, though, and this is the one thing I do respect Saka for, despite him not playing that well, he's chipping away at the numbers. Keeps chipping away. You watch a game and you go, Saka didn't play that well, but he got another assist. He plays another game, he gets a goal, you know? He played left wing and left back in the academy, but he don't look like he played much street football. He definitely ain't nutmegging people and doing stepovers on people, that's for sure. We'll go to Gabriel Jesus, because I want to finish with Trossard, because he deserves some credit. So Saka gets a 6. Gabriel Jesus, you know, every time I sit here and do player ratings for this guy, it's almost like, you know, you ever watch the film Me, Myself and Irene, Jim Carrey? Like, there's two of us arguing with each other. Yeah, but Curtis, look at the work rate. Look at the hold-up play. The little bit of Brazilian skill that he did in the penalty area. What a player. Give him a high rating. Then the other side of me saying, brother, I don't care about the work rate and link-up play. We just beat a team 5-0. You're the number 9, and you didn't chip in with a goal. You got to rate this guy low. And then I meet somewhere in the middle. And in the end, I'm looking at his performance more in a negative way than a positive way, and I'm sorry to say this. If I'm a striker and I'm playing for Arsenal Football Club, Arsenal are one of the most creative teams in the Premier League, people. Look at the amount of chances we miss. If I've played and I'm ringing my dad, yo, how'd you get on? Yeah, we won 5-0. Oh, how many did you score? Yeah, nothing. But my link-up play was good. Yeah, but I worked hard. Yo, brother, you better score next week. Your team scores 5 goals, you're up front and you don't bag? Something ain't right. Yeah, you can dress that up as much as you want with the link-up. Yeah, the assist to Trossard, cool. We're not going to mark him down. I agree with a lot of people, what people are saying. Jesus, for me, is a second striker or a winger. I don't think he is the number 9, I will lead the attack striker. I don't think he even wants that responsibility. I think he would be a great player to play off a striker, an Ivan Toney or someone like that. So I think he played better than Saka and he got the assist, but I'm just going to give him a 6.5 because for me, that was a great opportunity for you to go and get some goals and make your numbers look a little bit better. It's almost like the goal is at the back of his mind. Like, as a striker at any level, when you see like, yo, this team looks weak, there's goals today, you should be desperate to score. He doesn't look desperate to score to me, so I'm marking him down a little bit, man. I just think it was a great opportunity for him to hit the back of the net. You look at, and a lot of you are saying it in the comments, you look at Darwin Núñez, for example. Darwin Núñez, a lot of people have clowned him, right? I've always said I think Darwin Núñez has got something there. I honestly think there's a player there. At the moment, he's a chaos merchant. He causes problems to himself, but he does cause problems to the opposition. Darwin has got 7 goals and 6 assists in the Premier League, which isn't prolific, but what I'm saying is he's chipping in. He's got a couple in the Europa League. He's got 1 in the EFL Cup. He's in double figures in all competition for goals and assists. And this is a guy that people are dissing and saying, Darwin Noodles. So you're an established Premier League striker, Brazilian international. You've won titles at Man City. You know, I kind of feel like Jesus has reached his ceiling as a goal scorer. And I think you've got to play him out wide or play him behind a striker, which is why we've got to go and sign someone. But listen, Darwin Núñez, I'm telling you now, defenders don't want to play against him. He is unpredictable as hell. And he has them days where it's going to hit the back of the net, but obviously other days he can't finish his dinner. Jesus, 6.5. He can't be the main man next season. He just can't be the main man. You play him just behind a striker, I think he'd be great. Or play him out wide. Let's finish off with Trossard. I actually think first half Trossard was struggling against Nathaniel Klein. One thing I've realised with Trossard, you don't want Trossard on the byline. You don't want him hugging the touchline like an out-and-out winger trying to, run and outpace fullbacks. That's not what you want to see from Trossard. What I've realised with Trossard can be the Jota of Arsenal. And I'm not saying Trossard is better than Jota, because I think Jota's a fantastic player, by the way. But what I've realised with Jota at Liverpool, when you get Jota around the penalty area, you are in big trouble. That guy has got composure and can finish with both feet. You don't want him out wide on the touchline trying to run past fullbacks. And I think Trossard is a similar player for Arsenal. I actually think he's one of the best finishers at Arsenal. When he gets a good chance, I'm confident he'll bag. He can hit it with both feet. He's got a good touch. He's calm in front of goal. Get him near the penalty area. Now, does that mean you play him out wide but encourage him to drift? Do you play him left attacking mid where Havertz plays? Or do you play him up front in the false nine? That's what he's got to figure out, the manager. But when he's in the penalty area, he is brilliant. He is actually brilliant. And he looks like he's got goals in him. His goal was brilliant. I love the composure. Sat Nathaniel Klein down. Slotted it in. Brilliant finish. Yeah, I mean, listen, that Arshavin, that, he's in that sort of role for me. I'll give him 8 out of 10. I thought the goal was absolutely brilliant. He was under pressure. Let's be honest, he was under pressure. He comes in the team, plays left wing, goals galore. He knew that he needed to score. I almost think you could swap Jesus and Trossard and play Trossard as the 9 and put Jesus out wide. I think you've got to look at something with Trossard. I'm not saying he's better than Arshavin, because people saying Arshavin was better, but I think Trossard's got a big role to play in this team, but you've just got to figure out what that role is. But you've got to get him around the penalty area. That boy can finish. He's, composure in front of goal with both feet. Trossard in the left 8, Jesus left wing. And Martinelli through the middle. That would be interesting. I think Trossard, though, when he started in that left attacking mid-role, he hasn't been that great. But maybe we have to give him more time there. I'm not sure. But yeah, he's definitely somebody that we've got to try and get in the team, because he can finish. And as you know, we don't finish enough chances. On the bench, I'm only going to mention a few. I mean, Kivior, I can hardly remember him doing anything. That's no disrespect. I just can't remember him being involved. I'm going to give credit to all of the others for different reasons. Jorginho comes on, gets an assist. Lovely ball over the top for Martinelli. Martinelli slots it in the corner. Let's give him 7 out of 10. You come off the bench, 7 out of 10. Eddie Nketiah comes off the bench, unselfish for once. Quality through ball. Martinelli slots it in, great finish. 7 out of 10. That's what you want your substitutes to do, have an impact on the game. Emile Smith-Rowe, listen, you know me on this channel, people. I'm ESR FC, man. I want ESR not only at this football club, I want him starting games of football for Arsenal. I don't want to see Kai Havertz in that left attacking midfield role when you've got an England international that came through our system being benched, right? He's better than Havertz. I stand on that, people. He's better than him. He looked better than him in that 20 minutes. Not because he was pulling up trees and looking like Ronaldinho, just because he was full of energy. Give me the ball. Give it to me. I want it. Not Havertz. Oh, I've made a run in the penalty area and no one's passing me the ball, so nothing happens. He needs more time on the pitch. He brings excitement. He lifts the crowd. I'm giving him a 7. I stand on it. That boy's got a future at this football club. Don't give up on him. You got to give up on players like Havertz and Fabio's and Nketiah's before you give up on Smith-Rowe. This boy got 10 Premier League goals and saved Arteta's job 2 years ago. He gets a 7. Gabriel Martinelli, I'm giving him a 9. I'm giving him a 9. Gets dropped. Would have been frustrated. Sees Trossard on the left. Scores as well. It's very, easy to get, your head down and think, oh, damn, I'm going to be on the bench next week and sulk. Did he sulk? No. Again, I stand on this. You've got to get Martinelli in front of goal. The more time Martinelli has to think, the less effective he is. When he plays off instinct, he's incredible. It's a similar thing to Theo Walcott. I would like to say that I think Martinelli is more talented. The ceiling is higher for him, in my opinion. But Walcott obviously was a good goal scorer, a frustrating player. I would love to see Martinelli play up front for Arsenal. I don't know if he's got the ability with his back to goal and the hold-up play. That's something we would only see if he got game time. But I've said for a long time, I think this boy can be a striker. He's quick, he's direct, he can shoot. You know, his back lift is short, he shoots quick. That Thierry Henry-esque finish, he made it look so easy, people. Made it look so easy. And I think it's because he doesn't have time to think. He's in, he's one-on-one finish, bang, goal. You know, out wide, I think wingers sometimes have to be more clever because you've got to figure out how to get past the fullback, and sometimes he overthinks. And then it's just copy and paste on the second one. The second one was easier for him. He had more to aim at. The first one was outrageous. 9 out of 10 for Martinelli. Brilliant impact off the bench. Couldn't have wished for more. Mikel Arteta, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for Mikel Arteta. Simple as that. You got it right, apart from, in my opinion, Kai Havertz. I wouldn't have started him. I give him some credit for bringing in Trossard for Martinelli. That worked. Trossard scores. Martinelli comes off the bench, scores. 5-0. Can't complain. 9 out of 10 for Mikel Arteta. Made earlier substitutions, like Sam says as well, which I'm forever complaining. This brother don't make substitutions early enough. 9 out of 10. Big him up. It's got to be the rebuilding job now. You know, I said, let's not get carried away by the victory. It was brilliant, but we need that performance again and again and again. We need to go and win 4 or 5 games in a row to get ourselves back to where we need to get to. So Arteta gets 9 out of 10. Big him up. Great performance in the end. Great victory. 5-0. And we move Forest away. I think will be a more difficult game. And then we've got Liverpool there next week. Obviously, Arsenal don't play this weekend, which is disappointing because we're out of the FA Cup. Let me get into these super chats. Apologies, I was just waiting to get through the player ratings. Big up everyone in the chat. Dud Pistachio, and I've got your email, bro. Thank you for sending that. I'm going to get back to you today. He said, yo, Curtis and Turkish about to take over. I had to come through, drop a little super chat here. Bless up Curtis Cruz and the community. If you want to pick someone from the chat today, I'll hook up a tracksuit. There, you see what I mean? It's all going off, people. We got giveaways going on and all sorts. I tell you what we'll do. We'll do the giveaway tomorrow so that I can give everybody a bit of, a bit of notice that we're going to do 2 p.m. stream tomorrow. We'll do a giveaway. Dud Pistachio has his own clothing brand. We're going to do a little link up and try and, promote his brand and stuff like that. Because this community settings, we're going to help people from within the community because you guys help the channel by, viewing it and all of that stuff. So, yeah, we'll do a giveaway tomorrow. One of your tracksuits. So make sure you're in the show tomorrow at 2 p.m. And obviously, we've done some £50 voucher giveaways over the weekend. Big up to you, bro. Young Gunner said, great result, but as much as 5-0 is impressive, we still seemed out of sorts in the first half. Worried about our squad depth and predictability. Yeah, that's it. Because some people said, oh, how come you was critical in the first half? We were still winning 2-0. Sometimes you know that you've won, but you haven't played well. Most of you have played football or, any type of sport. Sometimes you win without playing well. And that's a good thing at times. But if you're consistently doing that, you won't get away with it for a long period of time. That's why we lost to Fulham. That's why we lost at Newcastle. That's why we lost against West Ham, because we're playing average and winning games, and eventually it runs out. You've got to hit a run of form at some stage. Big up, Young Gunner. Juice said, White looks like Hugo from Love Island. Bro, I can't even lie. I don't watch Love Island, But I'm sure there'll be someone there who he favours, He looks like Joey Essex. Southern Gooner, big up Matt, who said, a lot of Fools gold on display Saturday. Those February and early March fixtures equal pain. We literally have to go game by game. And you're right. Listen, Matt, and I know I've seen a lot of your reviews, and you've got a very similar opinion to me. Go and subscribe to his channel. It's difficult with Arsenal because we're in a situation where there's a lot of frustration because the expectation is back to where it should be. We want to win the title. We want to win major trophies. And we're trying to believe in the team and believe in the manager, but we've also got that feeling deep down that this manager might not be good enough, or maybe isn't good enough, and the squad's not good enough. So you have to enjoy the victories, but don't get carried away by it. Tougher test. We got Liverpool in 10 days. We still got to go to the Etihad. We still got to play Tottenham away. We still got to play Man United away. And in fact, it's not even always those fixtures, you know, because I would have never thought we would have lost to Fulham. So we got a long way to go. A question that we was asked, I think, who was I talking to about it? It was on Dan Potter's channel. I was on there the other day with Troops. I was saying, do you think Arsenal have got a better chance of winning the Champions League or the Premier League? Because the Champions League, if you get a look of the draw and, you know, a Bayern Munich player Man City and a Real Madrid player PSG and a few of them knock each other out, maybe you can beat a top team over 2 legs if you have a great performance at the Emirates, where the Premier League is just week after week after week. It's relentless, you know. It's a very difficult league to win. Concept said Jesus is not a plan A and wasn't at City, and you're spot on. You're spot on. He was never Man City's go-to. Even when Aguero left, they didn't use him. They played false nines. Sterling was up front and Foden. Sports Genius Big C, are we winning the league or the Champions League? Hope says yes. Reality says no. And that's my honest truth, people. As I always say, hope and belief are 2 different things. I hope Arsenal win the league and win the Champions League. I don't believe they're going to win any of them. And the reason is, I don't think we have a good enough squad to win it. And I don't think we have a good enough manager to win it. Now, stranger things have happened. That's why we watch the games every week. We're not totally out of any of them. We got a chance, but I just don't think we got quite enough. You know, I still think Arsenal lack another superstar in their team. I think we need a player that scares people. If you was playing Arsenal today, would you be really, really scared of any of them attacking players? When we play Man City, we're scared of Kevin De Bruyne. We're scared of Haaland. You know Haaland, one big chance he's scoring. Kevin De Bruyne, time and space, he'll rip you apart. Salah will rip you apart. You play Real Madrid, Vinicius will rip you apart. Bellingham. Those guys are on a different level. Harry Kane for Bayern Munich will score if he gets a chance. I still don't think, if you're in the Champions League and you're playing Arsenal, yeah, you rate Saka, you rate Martinelli, you're aware of Jesus in Brazil, and, you know, but I don't think you are panicking about those guys. You rate them, but this ain't prime Alexis Sanchez. This ain't prime Van Persie, Aubameyang, Anelka, Ian Wright, Thierry Henry. I just don't think we've got enough killers yet. I think we need a superstar in that attack, or one of those guys needs to become that superstar. That's my opinion anyway. 340 likes. Hey, hit the likes, people. Tuchel won the Champions League with Mount Havertz, Werner, Jorginho. And that is the last 3 words that you've said there, that you never know, is the exact thing that gives us the hope. Because you're right, Tuchel won the Champions League with Kai Havertz up front and Mason Mount in the 10 role, Timo Werner on the left. He found a way of mastering their defence. That Chelsea team was an absolute nightmare to break down. Thiago Silva, Reece James, Chilwell, they were defensively rock solid, and they just managed to hit teams on the counter-attack. He found a system, and that's what cup competition is about. Remember Liverpool back in the day under Rafa? They were finishing 7th and 8th in the Premier League, and then going and winning the Champions League with Jimmy Traore and Vladimir Schmitzer, a man like that. You know what I mean? Because he just found a system that worked in cup competition. So I'm just hoping that Arteta can find a way of playing in Europe that maybe gives us a chance. I would argue we've got a better chance of winning the Champions League than the Premier League. But hey, we'll see. Both are going to be difficult. Young Gunner said, I've played both winger and striker. Wingers need much more dribbling intelligence. Strikers require instinct. Example is Sané, quick and deceptive. Yeah, listen, I think with a striker, if your movement's good, you can get in good situations and your team creates, you can score goals. I think wingers have a lot more to think about. They got to help their fullback. They've got to go 1v1 with defenders. They get past them. The centre-back might come across. There's a lot to think about. Jamrock said, I think the Champions League will be easier to win than the Prem. I agree. Yeah, they won it with man like Milan Barros. And listen, Inter Milan got to the Champions League final last year. They're nothing special. They're nothing special. AC Milan got to the semi-final with Giroud, 36 years of age up top. They're nothing special. You know, you get a good look of, good bit of luck in the Champions League draw. It opens up. Anything can happen. But we got to overcome Porto first. Right, let's move on. Let's move on anyway. We'll quickly go through waffle settings. I'm going to skip through this. I'm not going to bore anyone. But listen, back to winning ways. It was good. He said, on having success with set pieces, it's very important. The reality is we worked set pieces less in the last week than all other aspects of the game. This is the beauty of it. So when he didn't work on it, it worked. On why Declan Rice was taken off, he was feeling tiredness. I don't know exactly what muscle it was, but when he says that at 3-0, you don't want to take any risks. Same with Big Gabby as well. He had discomfort. He had a tackle in the first half and was struggling, so it was the right moment to take them off. On converting the chances we created, he said having the ability to score many different ways, especially when you attack low blocks, to score in a certain way, everything has to be nailed. Whether he wants more goals from defenders, he said absolutely, and Gabriel's got the ability and time, and the deliveries have been consistent. We don't have a 30 or 40 goals on someone. We have to share them. That's a good quality. On the free-flowing football that led to the third, he said the whole action, reading of the space, the behaviour, the individual action of Gabby to play it at the right time and in the defender in front of Leo, and it's what Leo does. He's so composed in the box. The closer he gets to the goal, the calmer he is, and I think the decision-making, that's what I said earlier, similar to Jota, I think when he's in front of goal, he's one of the best finishers at the club, Trossard. On the confidence Martinelli will get, he said, I think that is going to put him in a really good mood. Sometimes when you're in that period, he had a little issue in the last few days in training. He wasn't fully fit. That changes momentum and it re-energizes you. Yeah, I'll get through the waffle quick. On whether he has spoken to George Graham after the match, who was famous for set-piece goals, he said, I haven't had a chance. On the plan now, before our next game in 10 days, he said, resting, looking after some players. At the moment, we are short in numbers. We have to manage a few players, especially players that have played a lot. We have good training blocks, train really hard, other ones for game preparation. We have to maximise that space. So not going back to Dubai for no gold steaks. Now I'm in waffles, sipping syrup, slipping 3-point eagle pies with no Salt Bay guys with that man music. Yeah, no Salt Bay over the next 10 days, people. That was just quick waffle, just a quick bite, you know when you go in the supermarket and they offer you a tester. That was just a tester waffle, people. Before you all run out of syrup. Right, let's move on. A bit of transfer news, although, as I said, I don't expect anything to happen in January. It would be nice for us to get a surprise at the end of January and, put a bit of excitement into the fan base, but I don't see it happening. But anyway, let's talk about a couple of things and a couple of players, and, we'll see maybe what happens in the future. First of all, Ivan Toney. I was having a few arguments on Twitter on Saturday night. As you can imagine, I think everybody argues on Twitter. That's all it's there for. I put out a tweet, get Ivan Toney to the carpet right now. I've seen enough. Hey, big up my bro Turkish in the chat, man. Great stream last night. Straight freestyle settings, man. No script. 2 hours. Hip-hop. Clothes. Trainers. Football, Arsenal, everything. We'll be doing it weekly. Make sure you go and subscribe to him. I'm sure you are. I'm sure Big Six will be on maybe tonight. Let us know if it's on tonight, bro. Looking forward to the next show. Ivan Toney gets a free kick. Referee sprays the foam down. Ivan Toney moves the ball about 2 yards to the right. He actually scooped up the foam with his hand and laid it out in front of the ball. So when the referee turns round, he thinks that's where the free kick's taken from. Because the goalkeeper hasn't seen it, he uses that extra 2 yards to bend it round the corner into the bottom corner. People online are saying he's a cheat. I'm like, what? That's clever. That's the kind of dark arts I want to see at Arsenal, people. I would be proud of that if I saw Gabriel Jesus scooping up the foam and moving the ball 2 yards. That's what I want to see at Arsenal. You think Patrick Vieira won titles because he was nice? He wasn't nice. He was kicking people, fighting in the tunnel with Roy Keane. Look what we did to Van Nistelrooy when he missed the penalty at Old Trafford. He got a forearm round his forehead from Keown. Lauren dug him in the ribs. That's what I want at Arsenal. I don't want these nice guys. They ain't winning. Get me Ivan Toney. Move the free kick and bend it in the bottom corner. That's what I'm talking about. So listen, I said before, for me, he will go in the summer. He will get a big move. And listen, 6 months out, comes back, gets man of the match, scores a goal, led the line brilliantly, bullied the Forest defence. I'm convinced Brentford will stay up and he'll be the guy who keeps them up and he'll get a move in the summer. Yeah, just in terms of that, Sam, I was saying in the stream I did with Turkish, I was like, back in the day when 50 came out with Many Men, obviously it was the street anthem for a long time. I said, yo, there was man in the end saying they want to get shot just to feel the pain of, you know, what it was like, you know, for 50 to go, so you could relate to that song more. Pause, by the way, pause. You know what I'm saying? You know, just in case that sounded. But, you know, when he was talking about being shot 9 times, man was like, yo, man, I want to get shot, man, just so I can relate to that song. But it wasn't me who said that. I'm just relaying what was said, people. But I understand. I was right there. Man. I was, like I said, I was wearing Reebok trainers, G-Unit sneakers, man. It was crazy. I was wearing a do-rag with a snapback on top of it in the middle of summer. It was crazy. But anyway, let's get back to the football. Ivan Toney settings. Honestly, I wish we were signing him now. And I said it yesterday, and I've said it a few times. And I could be totally wrong, and I keep saying it. I don't know how good this guy Osimhen is at Napoli. Like, I could have this all wrong. He could come to the Prem and score 30 goals, be world class, and I've got it completely wrong. And he's a world beater. He could be that. When I watch him, I'm genuinely not sure if he's that guy or not. And some of you have probably watched him a lot more than me. I'm not going to claim to watch Italian football that much. I watch some of the bigger games. I watch his highlights. He's good. But is he that good is sort of my question. Is he £110 million release clause good? Because I've seen Tammy Abraham look like a donkey in the Premier League, go to Italy and score 20 goals. I've seen Lukaku look like Mark Henry in the Premier League, and yet he looks like Pele in Serie A. So I don't know if there's a whole heap of Serie A tax on some of these players. I don't know. Some of you have seen him more. Let me know how good. And if you're watching this on replay, let me know in the comments. How good is Osimhen? Because the eye test doesn't convince me that much with him. He does hit the back of the net, though, and that's what I do have to give him credit for. The guy scores goals on a regular basis. So maybe he is the real deal. I'm not sure. Israel said, I'm Nigerian. I watch him every time they play here. He ain't the answer. So, you know, I'm not saying you saying that is gospel, because obviously Elliot said he's the real deal. So, but I'd be interested to hear your comments. How good is Victor Osimhen? Because I'm just not sure he is all that good at 110. But I could be totally wrong. I would rather sign Toney. I think you get Toney for 55 million in the summer with a year left on his contract. But I could be wrong. I actually like Isak at Newcastle as well. When he came to the Prem, I wasn't convinced by his goal record, but he's been impressive. But he would be very expensive. Alate said, I'm Nigerian and he's not that good. Facts. Yeah, man, if you can get Osimhen for 110 or you can get Toney for 55, I'm going for Toney. And I'm going for Toney just because he wants to play for Arsenal. This guy's doing public interviews saying, I'd love to play for Arsenal. If you're watching Osimhen's Twitter account at the moment, he's twerking for a move to Chelsea. I don't like that, you know. But hey, it is what it is. If he turns up and signs for us, I'll shamelessly say he's the best striker in the world and I've always wanted him. You know how we do. Simon said, it's only cheating if you get caught. Hey, that's what they say, bro. That's what they say. And the ref didn't see it. So as far as I'm concerned, it was clever from from Ivan Toney, man. Big up Arsenal Alex. Hey, bro, love your content. Could we do a collab soon? Yeah, shout me, bro. Drop me an email or a message or something. Show me a channel. I'll have a look. No problem. Get in touch. Shameless settings, man. Shameless. Right, anyway, Ivan Toney's back, but I don't think nothing will happen until the summer on that one. Right, Arsenal sent their head scout to Germany this weekend, people. He was pictured over there. There was some pictures online. Two scouts, apparently. The head scout and then another scout. Bayer Leverkusen against RB Leipzig. Leverkusen are absolutely flying at the moment over there in the Bundesliga. Granit Xhaka goes over there. They haven't lost a game all season, which is quite remarkable. Bayern Munich were beaten this weekend. They're now 7 points behind Leverkusen, although they have a game in hand. If they win that, obviously it will be down to 4. I think Leverkusen won the game. Let me have a look. Leverkusen, yeah, they won the game 3-2. It was away at RB Leipzig, and apparently Arsenal scouts were looking at 2 players, although they've listed 5 players here. But the report I read was that they were there looking at 2 players. Now, the 2 players they were looking at, according to the report that I've read, was Jeremy Frimpong and Xavi Simons. Now, Jeremy Frimpong, interestingly enough, was playing right wing back, not actually right back. Leverkusen play with a back 3, and Frimpong plays on the right of a midfield 4. He actually came off injured in the game. So he's made for Arsenal, people. He's injured. He's injury prone already, which means he's perfect for Arsenal. Jeremy Frimpong came off injured after 30 minutes. They've probably ranked, listen, Edu, mate, I've been to see Frimpong. He's injured. He'll be perfect for Arsenal. Frimpong came off after 30 minutes. Xavi Simons scored in the game. I've said before, absolute baller. Get that guy to the carpet. I think it's a difficult deal because he's on loan from PSG. I think PSG will try and involve him next season, but maybe they've brought him in to just make a big profit on him, which would be interesting. Obviously, the report that they've wrote here is that Arsenal were watching Xavi Simons, Luis Openda, Jeremy Frimpong, and Ezequiel Palacios. Openda obviously is a striker. He scored in the game. Palacios, centre midfielder, plays centre mid with Xhaka. Florian Wirtz is a very highly rated player there as well. But apparently Manchester City are lining up a summer move for him. So whether that deal would be possible or not, I don't know. But Xavi Simons and Jeremy Frimpong believed to be the 2 players that Arsenal are looking at. Jeremy Frimpong has a £35 million release clause in the summer. And listen, he's spoken openly about his, possibility of playing in the Premier League. So I think Frimpong is somebody that you could get, activate the release clause. I'm sure many other clubs will be looking at him as well. Again, going to be totally honest, haven't seen much of Frimpong. What I've seen of him, the majority of the time, is him running forward. He's absolute lightning quick for a fullback. And as I said, he plays wing back. So in Arsenal's system, how good would he actually be as an out-and-out fullback in a back We're still on mute. Is going on here, people? Oh, we back. We're back, people. Apologies, man. They're killing me here. What are they doing to me? Right, we're back. We're back. Yeah, as I said, Xavi Simons would be a great signing. 19 goals in the league, 22 in all competition. Would be a brilliant signing if we could get him in, but it'd be very expensive. I'm not sure PSG would be willing to let him go. I think he gets in their team. So we'll see with that one. But the scouts are out there watching players, obviously getting ready for the summer. Doesn't look like we're going to do much business in this window. I don't know what they're doing to me. They got you lip reading during the stream, man. I don't know what I've always rated this mic. Do you know what? I thought it was the microphone. But they told me I'm having issues with my connection from StreamYard to my internet service. So at times it's just muting me. I don't know what's going off. I think Edu's controlling things over there. Apologies, people, if you're having to lip read me during the stream. It ain't what you tuned in for. Anyway. Finally, last story of the day before we round up, before my microphone just runs out of here. Jorginho could be on his way out. I can't say I would be too devastated if this one happened. But Besiktas have made first contact to sign Jorginho from Arsenal after being recommended to the club by the player's entourage. Now, I'm happy with that. I'll tell you why. Because I'm not being disrespectful here. He's not a bad player. Cool, he's not a bad player. But I want to see Arsenal get a couple of new midfielders. I want a whole fresh feeling to our midfield in the summer. And I've just got this horrible feeling that Jorginho is going to get a one-year contract extension because Arteta seems to love him. I want El Neni and Jorginho on their bike in the summer and out of here, man. I appreciate their contribution, but we need to move on and get to a higher level. If his players' entourage is encouraging Besiktas to make an offer, that offers me encouragement that maybe Arsenal are saying behind the scenes, listen, we're not going to give you a new contract in the summer, so start looking for a move. El Neni definitely can't be getting a new contract. I'm sorry. So Alex said, same, bro, and we need a new manager too. Yeah, these guys need to be moved on. El Neni, how the hell he's still at this football club, I'll never know. But yeah, Besiktas are talking to Jorginho. Apparently his entourage are encouraging the conversation. So maybe in the background, Arteta has said to Jorginho, we're not going to extend your contract. Start to look for a new club in the summer, which I think would be good news. I think we need some new midfielders. Zubimendi, I think this is the summer that Zubimendi will leave Sociedad. I think he'll end up at Arsenal or Barcelona. They are the two clubs that are consistently linked with him. And I definitely think Arsenal want Zubimendi as that ball-playing midfielder. Whether Partey goes, I think he could go as well. Which, if you lost El Neni, Partey and Jorginho, you're going to need 2 or 3 centre mids. So that would be interesting. Big up on the stoop. Brooklyn's Premier League fan show said... would love a Pender. Guy's going to be a beast. Yeah, Turkish mentioned him actually yesterday. Looks a good player. I think, wasn't he playing in the French league and then got the move to Leipzig? He's a live wire, that is for sure. I think his trajectory is definitely on the way up. Dr. Barron said, get that France Fofana and Zub Zero Mendy. Yeah, listen, I've said many times, man. Fofana from Monaco is going to be a bargain this summer. Year left on his contract. Monaco willing to sell. I think you get him for 25, 30 million. This is what I'm saying. This is what you call smart business. You get Fofana for 30 million. And I know it doesn't always work like this. And people in the comments will go, this ain't FIFA, bro. It don't work like that. You get Fofana from Monaco for 30 million. Big, strong, good on the ball, fits the age bracket that Arsenal like to get. He's on the up, that guy. I'm telling you now, he's a proper player. Youssef Fofana at Monaco. I'm just checking now. 25 years of age. He's in the French squad. He's a baller. Man is a baller. And he can play as well. He's better than Onana at Everton, if that's the player they're going for. 6'1", physical, he can run, he can play. That's 30 million quid. You go and get Ivan Toney for 55 million, 60 million max with a year left on his contract. You've got your physical 20-goal a season striker. You've got your beast mode centre midfielder that can also play, that goes next to Declan Rice, and you've spent 90 million. Remember, we've just spent 227 million in this window. So you've spent 100 million, and you've got your midfielder and your striker. You go and get Frimpong. There's your right back, 35 million release clause. You've got 3 players in already, and you've only spent 135 million. And they're 3 quality players as well. You could get Elise, 60 million release clause in the summer. There's your right wing depth. 190 million spent. You've got Fofana, Toney, Frimpong, and Elise for 190 million. Maybe you get a centre-back as cover. You could even bring Kieran Toney back from his loan as your left-back as cover. But they won't do it. They'll go and spend 100 million on someone, and you know our Arsenal. But listen, just buy the right players. The recruitment has to be right. There's great options out there. We said it so many times, didn't we, Latte? If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. They'll go and buy some unknown Donny for 60 million. Or a Chelsea reject. So we'll have to see. I know it sounds simple, but they just don't make it simple. SG said, I would have bought Eze instead of Xavi Simons. I like Eze as well. I'm just saying Xavi Simons is younger. And I think, Arsenal seem to like young players. I would take Eze as well. Still a top player. I think Palace are going to have problems in the summer. I think Eze, Mitchell and Elise, clubs are going to be in for them. They'll spend 75 million on Conor Gallagher. Yeah, that's the kind of thing they would do. Crazy the amount we spent and still need so many players. Said it yesterday. We were looking through it. Arsenal, in my opinion, this summer will sell Aaron Ramsdale. Right? I think Ramsdale will request a move. So we'll purchase David Raya on a permanent. We still owe them 27 million. If Ramsdale goes, then we need a second choice keeper, a little 10 million keeper. So we might need 2 goalkeepers in the summer. One of them obviously will be Raya and then possibly a backup. I think we need a left back. We need someone to challenge Zinchenko, although they might think Timber can play there or Toney might come back, but I think Toney will leave. I think we need a better centre-back to cover Saliba and Gabriel. The drop-off's too big if you're bringing in Kivior. I think we'll need 2 centre-mids because we need one to play next to Declan Rice. You could lose El Neni, Jorginho and Partey. I still think we could do with an attacking midfielder that scores goals. We don't score enough goals from midfield. Unless you get Smith Rowe back in the team and get him in form, Fabio's not the answer and neither is Havertz. You need a right winger to challenge Saka because Nelson is not any competition to Saka. And you need a striker. So you're talking about... And you could probably do with a right back that can get forward. So you need a keeper, maybe a left back. You definitely need a centre back and you might need a right back. That's 4. You need 2 centre mids and a striker and a right wing. So you need 8 players. And we've spent 700 million. It's crazy. We should be talking about, we need 2 players in the summer and we've fixed all of it. We could still do with 7 or 8 players to fix this squad. And I realise I don't expect them to do it all in the summer. They've got to get a striker that starts. They've got to get a centre midfielder that starts. And they've got to get probably a right winger as competition as well. So there's a lot of money that needs to be spent this summer. And I'd be frustrated thinking, we spent 700 million yet. You're telling me you need another 300 or 400 million. So basically, we need £1 billion to sort this squad out. That's how much he needs. He needs £1 billion. British pounds, not Jamaican dollars, not American dollars, British pounds, people, to fix that squad. So he's going to have to get the checkbook out, people, that's for sure. I don't expect it all to be done in the summer, but we need to do a lot of it. People, thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a great show as always. Make sure you hit the like button. Dud Pistachio said he wants to give away a tracksuit from his clothing brand, so we'll try and sort that out for tomorrow. Big up Sniper, Scope and Penalty Spot who won the £50 Arsenal vouchers over the weekend. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. We'll see what's happening, what the latest news is. I'm on Wax's channel, Wax Online. I'm on his channel at 5 o'clock with Terry Flewers. So tune in for that if you want to see a bit more content. That's at 5 o'clock today. Me and Turkish will be doing the show on his channel. That'll be weekly. And hopefully I'll have Kevin Campbell on the show later in the week. When he recovers from his illness. He's had a bad cold, so hopefully. I think Kev was waiting for Arsenal to beat Palace. then he knew things would be a little bit more cheerful. So listen, big up to everyone. Have a great week. Lots of content coming up, and I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.